players in focus. So part of the main course this week, we want to talk about players and some fantasy footy as well. Let's start with our players of the week. So we've got one here each. I won't go first. Maybe we start with Nelson. Then we'll go Craigs and back to myself. Tell us who's your player in focus for the week, why, and what their stats were.
The low-hanging fruit, Siosifa Armone. As he came on the field, you guys, I guess, knew who he was, but didn't have the same reps on him as I did. He runs on the field. I look over at you, Kagi, and I go, is this the match you fall in love with Armone? Can you answer that?
It can confirm.
Yes.
No
I mean, the man was on the field for 24 minutes. He only did 3 carries, but he did 2 tries, which is not bad for a prop and one to win the match. He did make 100% of his tackles, or 2 of them, and he beat a defender. So that's pretty bloody brilliant. And I mean, just the way he hit that ball, drove tight and over those line on those 2 occasions. He was a powerful, powerful man. The interesting thing I heard about him is he actually lost 25 kilos in the off-season since turning up to the TARS.
I heard he turned up at 150 kilos. I was genuinely just looking at what he's at now. I've got him at 125. That is nuts.
So he must have turned up at 150.
Right. They could only pick one of him or Tupou to be put on the proper diet, and he was who they obviously went after.
That's why he's going to start above Tupou soon.
Well, he looked
freaking massive. He looked.
Oh, he truly looked like a mini Tupou. That first try where he came off.
No, he doesn't look like Tupou. He's way more toned. He literally looks muscular, and Tupou has progressively looked less and less muscular over the years.
How dare you talk about my boy Nello? Now, the way he came off the line out for that first try, came running around the corner and just absolutely pulverized.
No one was stopping him.
Was awesome. So good.
Very good.
And I can only assume he got 100 million fantasy points.
Yeah, of course. Kagi,
some great stats. That's good. Sweet. Well, yeah, look, you're throwing to me for one player. I know we're meant to do one player in focus, and I said that just simply wasn't possible. So I've just gone for 3 extremely exciting players for Super Rugby this year and from the weekend, which is 3 of the New Zealand Sevens players that have taken Super Rugby by storm. So we've got Leroy Carter, who I think he ended up being man of the match in that Chiefs Blues finals rematch of last year. He was absolutely immense there on the right wing. So he all of these guys had packed on a fair amount of size. I'd say Leroy Carter probably the most onto his frame from his stellar Sevens career. But he was just involved in absolutely everything. He was one of these wingers that he was behind half the rucks, picking and driving. He just popped up absolutely everywhere. And I think he had 11 runs for about 50 meters, bagged himself a try, but 3 line breaks, 9 tackle busts, an offload, made 6 of his 7 tackles. He was just immense and into everything. So huge game from him. Caleb Tangatau, the player I was really excited about and was getting huge raps to before the season. Similarly, he had a massive game for the Highlanders. He made 9 runs for 124 meters, bagged himself 2 tries, 4 line breaks, 7 tackle busts, an offload, made 100% of his tackles. He was huge. So for me, arguably the best back in the Highlanders in both the preseason trial and Super Rugby round 1. He was pretty huge. And then at the Hurricanes, we had Fehi Fine Anganofo, who another Sevens player. Harry was very excited about him just because he's an absolute beast. And similarly had an awesome game. He made 8 runs for 117 meters, 3 line breaks, 4 tackle busts, 1 offload, 6 of his 8 tackles. Just into everything. These guys just brought from Sands, and it was awesome to see. Harry, you had something to say about his that almost try, that try gone begging from Fehi on the weekend.
I just think he obviously got put down the right touchline, and then he did his little in and away step against, I can't remember who the defender was, but it looks like he had him beat. All he had to do was put his head down and jet for the corner, and for whatever reason, he just didn't back himself and look for the little throw inside. And I just kind of thought, like, you've done all the hard work. You're like 3-4 meters out. you had him wrong-footed and put space on him. He just needs to back himself. So yeah, he was very good, but I think he's going to get better.
That's it. A key fantasy measurement that we have here is selfishness.
We love it.
And we were discussing that on the weekend with Caleb Tangatau. You could see there's a couple of breaks where he might have had a man on the outside, but at no point did he look like he was going to pass the ball. So that's peak selfishness. That's what you want from your fantasy outside backs. But, Fahey, he was too unselfish. Should have scored that try himself, but instead was trying to give it to Bale and Sullivan on the inside, and a try went begging.
Yeah.
I think we actually said Suoliti just needs to be a little bit more selfish too, and then he decided he'd run the ball and take it on himself for a bit. And next minute he sets up a try.
Yeah.
Yep.
Suoliti
selfishness key.
Was fed a lot of ball. Was fed so much ball. All right, guys, I've gone for Kyle Preston. Obviously started on the bench, ended up coming on, I think, like 9 minutes into the game for Noah Hotham with his ankle injury. He had 3 tries, a tackle bust, 5 kicks, 82 passes, only 1 bad, 9 of his 11 tackles and 16 meters. So obviously the standout stat there is his 3 tries. But I thought his service was very good. We talked about him pre-season about how good he was for Wellington in the NPC and how excited we were to see him as a genuine, exciting second halfback for them contesting with Mitch Drummond. But I think the thing that stood out for me was just how good his support lines were. Like basically all of those tries were just because he ran phenomenal support lines predicting the play in front of him. And as the best halfbacks in the world do, he was always there. Like the little kick back inside, I think Sevu Reece put it through. He was like 20 meters on the inside, just hoping that Sevu had a look for him. Like it was exceptional support play. And I think, Hotham probably out for at least a few weeks. It's a pretty good opportunity for him to establish himself. I thought he was really good.
Totally.
Yeah, I saw an interview on, I'm not sure if it was which coach it was for them, one of the coaching staff, and they basically said like Hotham was getting bulk minutes. They were not taking him off early. He was getting most of that match. So what a turnaround.
Yeah.